The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live Racing at Aqueduct. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, as we honor America with our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Live Racing at Aqueduct. The track is sloppy. Here are today's early changes. Race 1 started the early pick 5. Number 2, ET's Premonition is +1. Race 2 scratched the 1A, Blake B. Started the early pick 4. Race 3 started the pick 6. Number 6, Hey It's Taddy, is 1 pound over. Scratch the 7, Sudden Impulse. Race 4, beginning of the late pick 5. Scratch number 5, I Am the Cash Man. Race 5, start of the late pick 4, no changes. Race 6, scratch number 3, What's My Category? Scratch the 7, Fingal. Race 7, scratch number 4, Kept Waiting. Race 8, scratch the 4, Dancing with Rico. The track is sloppy. Coming up, it's Talking Horses with your hosts, Andy Serling and the Big A, Anthony Stabile.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talking Horses. Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. We kick off another week here at Aqueduct. really didn't get. I mean, we got more rain overnight. It was sort of warm. We're getting some flurries out there, but didn't seem like anything was going to stick. In fact, I think it's supposed to be over pretty shortly. So
before post time, I
yeah,
believe.
we're sloppy, but it's as a result of the rain. It did not turn into a snow event.
No, it's supposed to get 1 to 3 inches, and it kind of fizzled and just stayed as rain, thankfully.
Just another incredible weather event that, television spent days. And what would they talk about if not
It's
for
amazing.
weather? Just so uninteresting.
It's
Anyhow,
amazing.
we're back in action, and we're glad to be back in action with an 8-race car today. You should go over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use the promo code BONUS200. Sign up. We will match the $200 initial deposit. You will play through Naira Bets and support racing in New York. Anthony's favorite color back in play there. Also, we have the $15 Thursday bonus, $50 each or more. Aqua and Gulfstream, I just opted into that. I probably won't be betting $50 at Gulfstream, but I might. You never know. I did yesterday. I bet yesterday.
You know what I just learned,
I don't know if
Andy?
it's a carryover from yesterday. But
You know what I just learned?
what?
All of the promotions for the week are available to opt in right now
Wow.
through Sunday.
But Anthony, if you do that, what are you going to do with the rest of your time? I mean, it's sort
we'll
of
find something to do.
it's sort of a filler. Anyhow, Anthony will put his phone down. We'll get to work on today's first race. Not a lot to go on in today's first race. You've gone to the
Affalata.
5.
Yes. First time.
What is
Lasix.
affalata? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, it's not food then.
Don't,
Sounds like a dessert.
we
You know
don't
what I'm thinking of? What's that? I like that dessert. What's that dessert with espresso and ice cream?
Espresso and ice cream.
Affogato?
I don't know.
There's
Espresso and ice cream. I have no idea.
vanilla ice cream when you pour espresso over it?
Never heard of this.
Oh, seriously?
So I'm quote unquote a kind of a bad Italian because I'm not an espresso guy.
I'm not even certain it's an Italian thing.
Prosciutto, olives. That's red wine. Not for me.
Affogato. I think it's affogato. I think it's
affogato?
affogato.
I don't know.
You've never had that? Oh, it's good.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not the.
I mean, I feel like I've had it at
Andy,
Lux,
I think
so
when
it's
you look
not
at me, the last thing you think is vanilla ice cream.
No, I just espresso.
Yeah.
I like espresso like sometimes.
Okay.
Saratoga would have to
Not
stay
for
up
me.
all night and
I'm
handicap.
a regular coffee
I don't drink
Americano.
coffee. The only coffee I ever drink is espresso.
You're a tea guy, I know.
I drink a lot of tea.
Yeah.
I do. I love that Saratoga tea and honey place. That place is great.
Yeah, it's fine. That's the second time you've mentioned
That
that.
place,
You like that place.
that place is great. I love that place. I order from them online all the
I've
time.
been having
I
my
go there.
chamomile tea.
You should go there. They have the chamomile flowers. They have the bags of them. It's awesome. Anyhow, go ahead.
She dropped him back in for the tag after getting claimed out of her debut for $50,000. I thought she ran okay in her debut. Probably didn't want the
Affogato,
mile.
David says. And it is Italian.
Affogato,
David.
okay.
So you are about Italian.
I know I'm a better Italian. Probably didn't want the mile in the special weight competition. Tap the Faith, Amore, in her second start, dropped back in. Falcone Barn obviously running well. Gets Lasix in
Well,
the first one.
here's the
She was
thing.
not good last time.
Here's the thing about the Falcone barn. Well, she was good enough that she could beat this field.
Yeah,
but
she was, but she wasn't good.
their
She might be
horses
good enough.
were winning in bunches. I don't know. They've run just sort of okay. That horse didn't run very well here over the weekend. Now, to be fair, Sunday's track was a gimmick track again. We had another huge inside track on Sunday. And it is getting to the point lately where you are anticipating biases much more than not. And that's always problematic.
Fair
and
enough.
a little of it's been the weather, but it's unusual because you had that whole first weekend here, rain or not, because we have plenty of wet tracks here in the past that are normally very fair, even recently. But we had big speed on opening weekend. We had a huge inside track on Sunday, and you saw some of those exaggerated figures. Rudy's horse, the New York bred, got a 104 buyer.
What do you think now?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very nice horse, but he's not
That's
a
a little-
triple-digit buyer
yeah.
horse, and those are the kind of, when you see exaggerated speed figures, it's very much an indication of bias, and we've seen it on a lot of days. And with the wet track today, you have to be worried again that we're dealing with another speed situation. The thing is, both the 5 and 6 in this race are likely to be forward, and they are the two horses. I went to the other one, Solid Tune. Thought the horses' dirt races were just against better horses. Made a certain amount of sense. Didn't have a strong opinion. I didn't know if the 5 I trusted that much. To be fair, when this horse was running 2 races back, the horse was not right on the rail, and the rail was the place to be, and that was against better horses. I think it's somewhat of a coin flip. You know, it's funny, that stake, was it Sunday, the 1 1/8 stake? Yeah. You like the winner, I picked the favorite. I thought they'd be the same price. I would have absolutely picked your horse. Now, my handicapping mistake in that race was thinking that the 4 would be 7-5 in there.
Well,
I
we
don't know,
both
that
kind
horse
of thought
paid
they'd be the same.
$870.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a crazy price on that horse.
I actually, and this is not a pat on the back, when that horse was that price, I had to bet a few dollars to win on that horse because
So
if
did
you're
I.
expecting 8-5, 9-5,
I bet that horse.
You got to go grab the 3-1.
I did. I mean, in that case, it worked out. Jose Ortiz, I believe this is his last week riding here full time. I think he's leaving, going to Gulfstream.
Yes, I heard the same thing.
Jimmy Riccio told me that the other day. Wish him the best of luck. Great day for Trevor McCarthy on Sunday with those 4 straight winners.
They pick 4, right?
Listen, a track bias is Trevor's friend because Trevor's going to be picking up on it as attuned to it as any rider in the room. And even when he's not on a speed horse, like the horse Playwright. He actually won with Playwright. You should probably get the Eclipse Award just for that.
Do you think he won the photo? I thought he got beat.
It was, even looking at the slow-mo.
Thought he got beat?
Because it's
He
almost,
just got-
it's
I mean, he
almost like
got
the
there.
mirror's this long and you don't know where the line is
Correct.
in the mirror.
Oh, the mirror. Correct.
Because when they hit the mirror, I think the other horse was in front.
The end of the mirror is when he got him, and I guess that's
Oh,
where the
he
wire
was
is.
there mid-mirror, but I
Yeah,
mean, it was,
right.
I don't, I
It was
mean,
amazing.
It's very unusual to see our slow-mo angle, and we showed it on America's Day of the Race as well, and not be able to call it. And that one was crazy.
That one was crazy. If you would have put the proverbial gun to my head,
I would have taken the other one.
I would have said Magnetron held on.
I would have said he held on or a dead heat.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was getting a piece of it.
Yeah.
He was getting a piece of it.
I agree. That was a crazy one. I mean, the thing is, the other horses in the first race, the one, it's first time in the dirt. I suppose the horse could win. I'm not gonna bet this horse, but I'm also not gonna. I mean, the horse has to be better, I think, on the dirt than on the turf. And I don't usually expect to be. I guess to be fair to Sea Lithic, the horse's race 2 back was good enough, and then ran the turf last time. So, are you going to be really? I mean, I don't think you're going to be surprised. I'm not going to bet Sea Lithic, but are you going to be surprised if that horse wins?
No.
I mean, it's not like the 5 and 6. Either one of these horses is overly reliable.
Agreed.
We'll see what happens in race number 1. Race number 2. Speaking of reliable, we'll start with Demo Doctor and Conformist. I'm surprised by David's line. I have trouble believing Randy Persaud is going to be saddling the favorite, even though I picked him. And I want to see that to believe it, but David's usually right. I thought Demo Doctor would be the favorite. Now, I would argue that, Demo Doctor, Hoople is a big favorite, there's a big speed track, and Demo Doctor, more so than Conformist, had to be taken out of his game because this was a situation where Trevor had to put him into the game early because of the way the track was playing. And that worked against him. I thought he was the horse to beat in here, personally.
I like Demo Doctor a lot today based on that.
A lot.
I do. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you.
You and Bob Glaceras quietly like best friends because you pick an awful lot of his horses.
Part of the reason.
You guys you guys roommates these days or
absolutely
something?
not.
I don't know
Part
about.
of the reason.
There's a story. We don't know.
There's no story.
No, there's
Part
a
of-
story.
Well, part of the
You're just
reason
not telling
is
it.
he
I'm going to ask Bob when I see him.
beat these horses. He beat Conformist, right? When Conformist was able to play his game and Demo Doctor was taken
Well,
out of
Demo
his
Doctor's better than Conformist. I think we can agree on
And
that.
I kind of feel like Prince James, well, he probably should be the favorite.
Why should he be the favorite?
Well, I mean, if you're going on his figs 3, 4, and 5 back, 2, 3, and 4 back.
I went that Ray Brazoda has great numbers off the claim. He's 7 for 29, 24% with off the claim and dirt sprints. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. He's got the races. I thought it would be between these two. David thinks that it's pretty clear. He didn't make them 9-5 and 2-1.
No, he
I'm
didn't.
skeptical, but he may be right. He usually is. I thought it was between these two, and I sort of had Linda a distant third, but I don't like Great Workout.
I got to
Only won
tell
a
you,
hungry race last time.
I don't really prefer Prince James in here. I think he should be the favorite, but truth of the matter is, I feel like he's tailing off a little bit. Maybe Irish Giant first off the claim for Linda, kind of, if
He's
I'm
tailing
right-
off a little bit, based on what?
I think the fact that in
Last race is pretty good.
And last-
last race will beat this field. You do know that. He runs his last race. He'll
I
win
think
this
if
race.
Demo Doctor and Prince James run their last races, Demo Doctor will win.
You're wrong, but that's okay. You're just wrong. I mean,
Okay.
Prince James involved in a quick pace, in a race that came apart against horses like Gio Care came back to win, and Glory Road, who was dropping substantially, and a super logical horse in there. He's been running against better horses. He's been running fine. You got to realize something. He's dropping down here significantly.
You think that's a good sign?
It is what it is. Is it a good sign? I don't think it's a horrendous
You
sign.
think for a horse that was never in for a tag to be in for 35 twice, get claimed, and now begin
So
for the
you
quarter?
believe he's falling apart?
I don't.
His
I
last
don't
two
like
races
him.
will win this race. Now, he may not run them, but if he runs out of his last two races, his last four races, but including his
No
last two
offense
races.
to Randy. They were for 20%. They were for a 20% trainer who wins an awful lot of races in the Mid-Atlantic, and for Jeffrey Engelhard, who wins at 17%.
And Randy has big numbers off the claim.
Okay. 6 versus 4.
I think, I'm not making a bet. I already told you that Demo Doctor is very logical in here. I didn't say he wasn't. I just think that the race is
1 versus 4.
Oh, gladly.
Okay.
I don't have a pen. Okay.
I need that back though, because that is a stylus.
4 versus 1. I'll bet you 2 lunches. We're at 93.
Okay.
Really, you want to bet all those Linda Rice claims? How are her claims doing lately?
Listen, I think one horse has room for improvement, and I think the other horse is going the wrong way.
Well, they all have room for improvement. The one is awful.
Okay.
The other problem with the one is there's no pace in here. And this horse is slow. With a rider who, I tell you what, when Eric Cancel gets to look at those PPs and he sees he's riding a horse with no speed, his face must light up. He goes, oh, good, I can be way back in this race.
It's a claim back by Linda, by the way.
Probably not her smartest move.
Okay.
Race number 3. One thing we knew about race number 3, that's why I put in all the replays, Anthony would go back to a horse he picked last time out. Now, to be fair, probably should have won this race.
He was
last
best,
time
right?
out. We'll show the start, the pan and header on the start of Big Tony's Girl, and then the race into the stretch, and why don't I let you talk about
Now, if you want to accuse me of picking a guy's horses, I pick an awful lot of Jimmy Ryerson horses.
it? You do,
That's
to
the
your
truth.
detriment, that's for sure.
That's
you
the
also pick a lot
truth.
of Bob Glasseris horses.
This horse, I thought this horse should have won last time. Now, look,
Probably
it's hard to
He's the number 6 in this race.
Yeah.
And you're going to see him get cut off
slough
there.
right there.
And now this was a race that, to be fair, completely fell apart.
Yes, it did.
But we'll show you the stretch run. Why do you think she should have won?
Well, I think she was out of position early.
I think she should have won because the winner came up a very, very good rail. And while she was too wide in the turn, she angled out in the middle of the racetrack where the best running was not being done throughout the day. So the winner, the combination of her trip, but also the winner's trip, made her the best horse in the race, and she had a trouble at the start. There's a basic problem, though, with that, with picking this horse in here. Do you know what it is?
No.
Pitiful field last time.
Well, I mean,
Anthony, that was a pitiful field last time.
this isn't the 88
I
distaff.
didn't say it was. It's better than that field. That was a particularly bad field. I mean,
I
Charlotte
can't agree
Webley
with
won
that.
that.
You see, I can't agree with this, Andy.
you're wrong,
I'm going
but
to tell you
that's
why. If the Glenmore doesn't come back,
You probably need to go back and look at the PPs of that horse's last race. Charlotte Webley hadn't won a race since
I
I had
remember the
hair.
race. She came back and ran. I remember the race. I mean, it was a bad field. I'm not saying it wasn't.
was.
But if the Glenmore does not come back running from an 8-month layoff,
You're just wrong. I mean, Lots of Honey is better than horses in that race. Hey, It's Toddy is better than horses from that race.
I'll give you. Hey, it's Toddy. The rest of these, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the Glenmore, I'm not betting Glenmore. Rudy's numbers, for what it's worth, 108, 6-month, 8-month layoffs in the dirt. He's 12 for 64, 19%, $1.04 ROI. In routes, he's 3 for 21 with a $1.05 ROI. So the numbers aren't there, but Glenmore can win. I'm just never going to pick a
course.
horse like this.
Yeah.
You're overestimating how bad. You're underestimating how bad the field Big Tony's Girl's coming out of last time. You are.
Okay.
You are. She's not impossible in here, but Anthony, she ain't much horse.
I'm going to say it again. Who am I supposed to be afraid of?
Well, I like a lot of Honey in here. I like a horse dropping in here. She's been running against significantly better horses. She gets a significant rider upgrade to Dylan Davis. And you look at some of her back figs, they're easily as fast as your horse and faster. And she's going to be a price. People are going to be scared off by her recent finishes. And in my opinion, she's simply been facing significantly better horses. Listen, the Glenmore can win, obviously, off a layoff. Hey, It's Toddy can win, though. I got to tell you something. I'm not convinced Hey, It's Toddy is really going to run well at a mile. But to be fair, one of the better figures she's showing on her PPs was at a mile.
Yeah, that was part of the reason I included her. I mean,
She can.
you could.
Included her. You've got Game Theory third.
I do.
Can I bet you the 4 beats the 3?
Sure.
Okay.
Bet 1.
Okay.
We'll go
So
crazy
I'm
in this
up
field.
96 after.
But at least we'll have some action. At least we get some action.
Over. Game Theory.
Yeah.
Well, it's Kendrick. You always have.
You're gonna- you're
what
gonna-
percentage of the time do you leave Kendrick out of the top 3?
You're gonna try and get a central banker out of a precise end there a mile, who's been losing ground in all of her races. I know she's running against better, but she's still losing ground in every one of her races.
She'll beat the 3. I don't love her. I don't like other horses in this race. The one's been running against bad horses. The 2's off a layoff.
No, it's
and
a tough-
Hayes
it's-
Toddy
listen.
is okay, but
Not a trustworthy bunch.
no,
for-
it's not.
for
That's
sure.
why I'm hunting for a price
That's
on a horse
fine.
dropping down. And while Jimmy Farrar's been a bit quiet so far, he normally does okay here in the winter. Race number 4. Race number 4. Where'd you go in race 4?
I went to Rudy.
You know,
Went to the
I think it's
outside.
interesting. You have my horse second, yet this exact same race was drawn a couple weeks ago, and you didn't have my horse in the top 4. I just think it's sort of fascinating.
Wasn't there? There
No.
were a couple of scratches out of here.
Not really. This
Yeah.
is basically the same race. No, this is the same race. It's the same
No,
race.
I don't think so.
I do, but okay. A couple of scratches. You didn't have the horse in the top 4, but that's okay. You've come around, and I think this is a move in the right direction for you. You're actually acknowledging that you may have occasionally made an error. We're going to take a break after this race.
Yeah,
by the way. Purposely pick
I've acknowledged mistakes.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with We Ready, who I like.
Okay.
We'll show We Ready's race 2 back. I don't know where We Ready has been, but I know if We Ready runs the race 2 back, the last race, the race 4 back, this horse will win this race.
He probably will.
Simple as that. I just think he's running against significantly better horses. I bet him in this race. I made a big bet in this race. I don't know where Kickerland got that race from. I didn't know where going in. I don't know where going out. They knew he was going to win that race,
They
though.
knew he was gonna
They
win.
knew that day he was going to win, maybe because they knew I bet We Ready. But he stinks. But he ran that day. I mean, this horse lost to Spun and One last time, who would be 1 to 1 billion in a race like this, sprinting. Seriously, he'd be 1 to 1 billion in this race. I just thought he was much the horse to beat. And I thought because you're dealing with Joe Parker, and Joe wins races here,
Lay
you're
off and
not
Joe
gonna
Parker,
short
you're going to get a price. Yep.
because the reality is we show your horse tough workouts last race. I got him 3rd, but I got to tell you something. He's coming out of a terrible race.
I'll tell you what. I probably should have changed this pick.
Well, you're not allowed to pick the 6 on top. You didn't have him top 4 in
that
the
was
same race 2 weeks ago.
The problem is, I mean, tough workouts, 2 wet track races is just abysmal.
Oh, the wet track.
Horse got beat 40 lengths
Oh my
and
God,
13
the wet
lengths.
track.
So, I mean, this horse's last
You
couple
think
of
that
races.
if he loses today, the problem with this horse is that he was involved in the pace with Tamburo Sox last time, who was 21 to 1, has horrendous PPs,
And the winner
and still
left-
beat him.
got left in the- right,
Still
outdueled
beat him.
him to the
That's
wire.
right. And the horse who beat him ain't much horse. And he's not even a good turf horse, and he's a turf horse. Now, you can say he picked the piece because these 2 horses got involved, and that's fair, except he got involved with Tamburo Sox, who was 21 to 1, who still beat him. I don't particularly like him in here. I thought my cousin Rich was an awfully logical horse when we drew this race before. I mean, he's dropping off a cliff.
Yeah, and there's one race, his 2 races for a tag were his most competitive finishes.
Dropping in for 20? I thought it was 2s and 6s here forever.
Okay.
I'm curious. David's got the 2 at 6 to 1. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Juan Vasquez, I don't buy it. I mean, the 1 comes out of a horrifically bad maiden race where Romantic Man ran 4th, and he was 4th. The winner of that race, a Mark Hennig horse, who feels like he's about 15 to 20 buyer points worse than that actual race. To me, it's all 2s and 6s and nobody else.
Okay.
That's all I'm using to begin the pick 5. You'll have to wait through a break to get the rest of the important information on today's card.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
Talking horses. The late pick 4 begins in race number 5. So I thought Honey Money was the horse to beat in this race, personally. I don't really get Dancing Kiki, though we'll get to her. I was surprised, David, obviously. You're probably right. I know that Wayne Potts is on a horrific run for the last 4 months. He's also lost 2 ridiculous nose photos with horses that ran very well and been very, very unlucky in his recent days. I think his horses have actually run okay. He's just been unlucky. Why isn't she supposed to lead this field on the merriest of chases? You love this horse in races she can't win.
Talk to Wayne about this filly now, Mayor.
Okay, I don't want to hear what Wayne thinks because information is irrelevant.
Well, I mean,
she is the lone speed in this race, and I just think she's gone. I think she's totally gone.
Okay. I
think she's a kick in the pants.
I thought it was 4s and 5s, obviously. I thought this was a chalky affair.
David likes the 2, Choose Happiness. I don't particularly, but, you know, she was down the inside somewhat last time. And the thing about Money Honey is she was down the inside for much of the running as well last time before coming off the rail. They both spent similar amounts of time on the rail, and she just has a big tactical advantage. She'll also be a much shorter price, so I guess you could throw her in. We'll show Dancing Kiki winning the Saratoga Do. I don't like her. Why do you like her?
I thought against these horses, distance would be her friend. I know Honey Money ran okay going a mile last time. I just feel like this filly, this mare, I keep saying filly, they're 5 now. This mare, I think the distance portion of this affair is her friend. She's got the win at the mile. She's got her biggest win came at this mile and an 1/8 here.
Well, this is a phonied up race. This was off the claim. The mile and an 1/8 is one of my favorite things about the hysteria about the mile shoot at Saratoga. The mile and 1/8 races at Saratoga are universally unfair. We saw 50% or more of them basically wired this year. We saw it very hard to close in those races. People are acting as though those are like super fair races, but you don't want to run those mile shoot races that 30 years ago we ran in a small sample size. The inside horses had an advantage. And without looking at who was in them, I don't know how you make those extreme conclusions. I think that win she has is all phonied up. Where is her other race that's so spectacular?
Oh, I don't disagree that. I just, from my perspective, I just think the distance over Honey Money, that she'll want the mile more than Honey Money does.
I think that's completely irrelevant, especially considering Honey Money's supposed to be loose in this race. And I think, listen, you lose sleep over distance. I don't. I think Honey Money's going to wire the field. I mean, I guess Dancing Kiki can win. I'm not pick her second.
It was hard for me to get past the 4 or the 5, and the distance became. It doesn't bother you.
They're the 2 heavy favorites in a small field.
Right. I mean, well, you want after the last performance, do you ever want to bet a dime on Frost Me again?
Well, I mean, I don't know. She was bad last time. Do I think she's impossible? No, I don't think she's impossible. I don't think Choose Happiness is impossible in this race. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I don't know who the 1 is, but the 1 is out of town figures, mostly on turf, but has dirt figures that are okay. I don't think that much of either the 4 and 5 that I'm going to be surprised if somebody beats them. I mean, these are not exactly tremendous horses that have PPs filled with big performances.
I don't disagree, but don't you think they also? I mean,
they're the right 2 horses in this race, but they're not particularly formidable rivals.
I thought they kind of had the pace edge too. They're supposed to line up 5-4 here, aren't they? Well, I mean, I guess Frost Me, but
yeah. I mean, okay, but yes, they're the 2 horses to beat, but they're not exactly tigers. Race
or lions or bears.
Number 6.
They're horses.
Guys, I did send in a 4th pick. I went through all that trouble. Maybe if Bobby wasn't watching European soccer or something.
Email's down.
What?
The email's down.
4. Well, why didn't Bobby call him? You know, he knew it was down. Eric, I emailed them. Now I'm going to pick on these guys all day.
I may have.
You know, Bobby's gotten off.
I may have was supposed to tell you that. I may have. I don't know if I'm 100% sure. I think I may have.
No, don't worry, you'll do stupider things.
I think I may have.
New position. Okay, you picked a horse that can't win. Is there a tip on mandatory payout?
No. I got
famished. I got the wrong PP. No. Let's talk about mandatory payout. Let's talk about a horse you picked on top. You don't have to talk about famished. I'll take care of famished. You can criticize him after
Orb in the tower and famished, putting a little pace on in here.
Anthony, there's no pace in this race. The speed is the 2.
And Super John.
There's
well,
absolutely-
I don't know what we're going to get out of
There's
Super
absolutely
John.
no speed in this race whatsoever.
Kind of surprised to see Super John.
There's no
in
speed
here.
in this race at all. You look at this race and know there's going to be a pace.
Yeah. I think
You need to start looking at pace
6, 8, and
figures.
2
You
put
need
some
to
pace
start
on. I don't know what to
actually
get-
handicapping.
I don't know what to
because
get-
anybody that looks at this race and thinks there's a pace doesn't know what they're
I
talking
don't know
about.
what to do with the 2. I don't know what
This is
version of the
absurd,
2 you're going to
Anthony.
get. I think
Well, if the
man-
2 doesn't have speed, then the 1 really has no chance.
Oh.
Because they'll be going like this. They'll be going like 26,
I don't know
51.
I don't know who else I'm supposed to like in here. I just want the horse that consistently
know why
gets
you're-
checks. I just want the horse that consistently gets checks.
That's why you like Mandatory because he consistently gets checks.
I'm going to say this to you again. Yes. Who am I supposed to be afraid of? The other, I guess
He's
the other
2 for
horse that-
30 with 14 seconds and thirds, and
I
you picked
guess
him on
the-
top
I
in
guess-
a race that he's not fast enough to win.
I
Other
guess-
than that, he looks awesome.
Well, who? I'm going to
Well,
say it again.
Roman
With
Empire-
recent form, on
Roman
recent
Empire,
form,
you have third.
Better fall down if he loses to this horse. Literally, fall down.
Andy, this horse hasn't run a race that would dominate this bunch in
How
a
many lunches
year.
can I bet you the 5 finishes ahead of the 1? How many?
How many you want?
As many as you want. 400.
Bet 3 lunches.
Okay.
5 over 1.
I got 5 for 1. Okay.
One horse does nothing but get checks. The other horse does nothing but
Anthony.
this horse hasn't
Have
run a
you
step
looked
in
at who
in a
Roman-
year.
Anthony, you picked a horse that just finished 8 lengths behind a horse he's running against in this race.
Yeah, I thought they were the 2 horses in here.
He finished 8 lengths behind him.
I thought they were the 2 horses in here.
8 lengths.
Yeah, I thought they were the 2 horses in here.
Okay. Okay. Let's look at the replay of Super John's race a year and a half ago at Delaware. I mean, I'm not going to bet this horse, but if he shows up, isn't he going to be tough?
I bet this horse this day. I was covering this race on radio. Yeah, but we're showing a race from September of 2020.
Picked him third. I don't trust
He
him.
ran once since.
And
he
was
was
eased.
eased. I want nothing to do with this horse.
I'm not betting him. He's much, much more likely to win
And
than
you
your
mentioned,
horse.
and you mentioned earlier the
You do
Linda
know he's
Rice.
much more likely to win than
You
your
mentioned the Linda
horse.
Rice claim earlier. Yet the trainer change doesn't bother you.
There's a huge difference between trainer changes.
I'm
and
not saying
claim.
there's not. I'm not saying there's not. But at this point,
There's a huge difference between
at
trainer.
2 for 40, does it really?
There's a huge difference between trainer changes
I
and
think
claims.
I think that's
so
what he has
I don't.
at this point.
So I'm going to tell you that yes, I don't view one in any way the same way I view the other one. By the way, Anthony, the race formerly known as
Just
the
stop,
Don's
please.
drawn is on
Can you
Tuesday.
just stop?
What are you doing during
You
the
did the
draw? I
task
mean, you
in
got
hand.
to clear your whole
Could you keep it
calendar
to the
on
task?
Tuesday
I'm,
for the.
I'm busy Tuesday.
You got to
Can
clear
you-
your whole calendar
can
for
you-
that draw.
can you stay at the
I'm glad
task
they
in
added
hand,
that
please?
Philly stake, by the way,
Why
so
are they
Regal
wearing
Glory they could
black?
hand Chad and
why are
Regal,
they
Chad and
wearing
Peter
black?
Brandt.
Why is this guy wearing black again?
I don't know. We got to talk to him. I got to speak to Brian.
Send him a message or
Somebody's
something.
got to get him a. I mean, Keisha certainly understands. She can't help that guy find a wardrobe.
You have to, Andy. You have to ask. You have to ask for help. Andy.
I'm going to call Acacia after the show. She needs to help Brian. We need to have like an intervention or something.
Yeah.
We need an intervention for you picking mandatory payouts. It's another story. Sorry, Anthony. You and I looked at this race completely differently. I think Roman Empire is way the horse to beat in here, dropping down. I mean, I don't trust him. I don't love him, but he's just faster than these. He's running against better horses. I actually do look at who horses ran against. But I like Famished. And no, I don't trust Famished. It's John Kimmel. I don't find him reliable at all. But you are getting Jose Ortiz. You got a horse that's going to be forwardly placed in a race that has absolutely no pace signed on. I think the horse ran well against better horses in a pace that fell apart in the last race. I'm not knocking Elsa Morrison. I actually like the way she rides.
You've said that numerous times.
But
She won a race. She won a race Sunday.
Rides fine, but it's still Jose Ortiz, and this is a horse that you picked against cost basis and drafted.
I did.
And you've got fourth in this race. Well, you have the one on top.
I did. Those are all true. Those are all
The
facts.
intervention's for you, and then we'll deal with Brian's dressing.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, you're not. Actually,
Yeah, I am.
that's the problem. You think you are, and you're not. Race number 7. Race number 7, Anthony is doing something that he hasn't done in 2 years. 2 things. He's acknowledging he was wrong.
I was wrong.
Which has not happened.
I
don't know.
acknowledge I
A
was
lot of
wrong
people
too
out there
back.
actually know Anthony. If you can come up with the last time Anthony acknowledged he was wrong, you're ahead of me, except for this race, because he's
I
been telling me that
acknowledged it
Roxy
last time.
Girl's a cripple and to bet against her for 2 years. She's won about 7 races in
I
between.
acknowledged it last time.
She ran well last time. We'll take a look
I
at it.
acknowledged it last time. Yeah.
Really? This is a real step for you. It's amazing what a horse has to do to prove that you were wrong.
You're right.
Run well for
She had hit
2
the board
straight
7
years.
of 11 times last time.
One time somebody
really
said,
that
yeah,
long?
I don't love the way this horse is going. And for 2 years you picked against the horse and did nothing but lose. She did run well in here. I don't think this was Mina's fault. I think he got a little lucky here.
Yeah. I don't.
Is that Kendrick maybe came? Was it Kendrick?
Again,
Run
I
over?
mean, you could argue she should have won last time.
Yeah, I bet the winner. And you could argue that she should have won that race.
should
They
have
were
won
better
last time.
horses
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
I
She's
think,
in great form.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
not
in good
knocking her.
form. Should get a good setup.
She's the horse
in
to
here.
beat, and you were
Yeah.
there for the moment that Anthony admitted he was wrong about something.
Yeah.
So that's big. I'm sorry that Kept Waiting came out. I did not like that horse and figured it would have taken some money in here. Chad Brown has 2 horses in this race. They're going to bet more on Golden Plume. Maybe that's the right move because she's a bit of an unknown in here. What do you think of the dirt pedigree on this horse?
There's not much.
Dam ever run in the dirt?
The dam was Euro.
You know when I ask a question like that, you know it's a loaded question. She actually ran the 19 she ran in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. I think she ran in the
Who'd she come over here for?
2006 Breeders' Cup Distaff.
She was over there, right? She was in Europe.
Yeah, I know. She's a very, very good horse. Interestingly enough, she's not been a producer. In fact, it's funny because after she broke her maiden, I texted Chad and I said, you know that she, other than a jumper, she's the only, Nebraska Tornado was a tremendous racehorse. I said she's the only Nebraska Tornado that's won. And Chad had said it's funny because Garrett O'Rourke had said the same thing to him, that she's not successful. As you know, I'm not a big fan of this horse. So I get Chad leaving this horse in New York because Chad's saying, well, she's not much of a turf horse.
Right.
I'm not going to run her to bring her down to Florida anyway to run in that turf course. Why don't we give her a shot in the dirt? They thought enough of the dam to try. And to be fair, she ran an 86 Beyer. She wasn't effective, but she didn't get beat 40 lengths. I don't know. I'm not going to be surprised, though, when she runs well today in here. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of her as a racehorse.
Yeah, a little.
And she's going to be bet for the wrong
kind of
reasons.
slow, and she's cutting back now to
She's
7.
kind of a phony, is
Yeah,
what she is. She's kind of a phony.
I don't know how
She's-
you can't really.
She's gotten good trips, and she doesn't get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
If
what
it's a
else
phony,
to say.
I just don't know if she's much horse.
Well, she's run by her speed figures in the turf that are faster than these horses run in the dirt.
I guess.
Well, that's a fact. I got to tell you something. I like Primacy second off a layoff, and I've never particularly liked this
No,
horse.
I'm surprised at the
But
selection.
she comes out of a race where speed did well, where Chad Brown won with a horse who looked like she was going to be good. She's obviously got issues. She lugs in. And she didn't run well in that race. I'm not going to defend her. But she was coming off a little bit of a freshening. She has run races recently that can beat this field, and I thought she might get a little bit lost in this race. And they're going to focus more on the other Chad Brown horse, and she's got some good dirt for him, so I thought maybe she'd be a little value. I'm going to tell you something else.
Isn't
Another
her
horse-
biggest problem? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Isn't her biggest problem though? Besides, I mean, I guess with Madeira in here, she'll get some pace. I mean, there's not really a lot of pace on.
No,
for
you're
her.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
That's a problem. That was my biggest issue with
No,
her. Like
you're not wrong.
She doesn't do much running when things go her way, and now things aren't. That's why I left.
That's fair.
That's why I didn't like her today.
That's fair. Let me ask you a question. Since you're Mr.
Roxy's
Wet Track-
supposed to sit off. My Roxy girl's supposed to sit off of Madeira, right?
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely. At least in my opinion, you're absolutely right.
It was hard for me to make a case.
I'll
for
argue
her.
with you about a lot of things,
Yeah.
but I don't got to know. Let me ask you a question. Since you're Mr. Wet Track, aren't we supposed to move up the 3 in here?
Yeah.
Because
I
I don't
thought about
care what
flipping
she's
her
in
in
her
the-
second race. It was a stupid race to put her in second time.
Absolutely.
The problem is, man, she has been
She hasn't done anything.
atrocious.
She hasn't done anything. Now, you can make the case you can make, and this is not a race as well as my Roxy girl, as good a form as she's in. I'm not
Well,
going to.
she can't win if you pick her because you've been picking against her
That's
since
the
she
car-
came out of the
That's
womb.
the karma police.
You deserve it.
That's the karma police. Yes. I mean, could you imagine if more Moonshine runs her debut? She's going to bury these horses.
She got a perfect trip that day. It was a wicked fast pace. She got a perfect trip, but her debut was pretty good.
Yeah, her debu's gonna win this
I don't think
race.
it's as good as the 86 Beyer suggests. But
Even if it's an 80, she's probably going to win.
let me ask you a question. Firing Carroll, we'll take a look at her last race. She can't win?
Yeah.
You know, eloquent speaker who beat her, I know she was with the bias in her next start, but ran pretty damn good in her next start, with the bias or not. I mean, she got beat a photo by that horse that couldn't lose on paper.
This is a race.
I bet her last
Bravo,
time.
Regina, and Madeira are kind of hard to make.
Tuned out, timed out. As much as I
Well-
love Jimmy Riccio, that was a little tough to make. And I'll
I
tell you
put
something
a-
else. Besides the fact she's too slow, she wants about as much part of 7 furlongs as you and I do.
You
in a
might be
horse
right
shoe.
about that. I put her second in here just because I was
Timed
looking for-
out?
Yeah, I scratched into her second. I have a second in here. Maybe she's the one that she's laying third in here. I don't know, man.
Time her races with a sundial.
I feel like she'll be
My sundial broke trying to time her race.
she'll be twice or 3 times the price of Golden Plume, of More Sunshine,
She
of
sure
Privacy.
should. She should,
and,
for a good reason.
well, that,
For good reason. Race number
be
8.
that as it may.
Race number 8. It's a wide open race. I don't get her at all, but okay, good luck. I hope I'm wrong for Jimmy Riccio, who is a friend, and I'd like to see him do well. Where's you going here?
Jimmy Ryerson. Jimmy Ryerson day for me. I even took Dancing Kiki, who used to be Jimmy Ryerson. I just wanted one of the drop downs. I put the drop downs 1, 2. Threw a couple of firsters in.
I've got her in here. I thought the 1, 3 were the logicals. I like the 8, Bo in the back, who's going to be a bigger price than he should be because of the last race. He chased a wicked fast pace against better horses last time. He's running back where he belongs. I just thought he makes a lot of sense. He fits better with these horses, and his last race would make him look worse than he is. I think getting back to 6 furlongs is probably better for him. And the horse is going to take money. I thought he was the right one at a price, so I'm mostly 1, 3, and 8 in here, but I prefer the number 8.
Okay.
All right. I guess the 10
Really
is the
was-
wild
really-
card wine-tastic.
Yeah. Who knows what you're going to get out of the Freud? Yeah. Georgia.
By the way, they're still light in a few races if you want to
not
enter a
really,
few
man.
of your runners.
I got nothing.
getting that.
Sorry, man. Can't help.
We watch the show. We know you got nothing. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets.
You're gonna win like
You didn't
5
need to
lunches today.
re-enter it. Yeah. You had 93 lunches. Don't get too confident. Somebody asked if you had bought some lunches. Yeah, he had quite a while ago, but he's going to have to start. We get over 100. There's going to be at least 1 lunch brought to me a week. You better find a new place with
I got nothing
with
for you
pastrami.
with- I got nothing for you
but
with the
then
bread
you're
with
not
the
allowed to
pastrami,
gamble
man.
when we get over 100. It's going to be frozen at 100, and it's going to be close to it today.
got no pastrami
Probably
for
be
you.
99 today.
Sorry, buddy.
Use match 200 or bonus 200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. And once you've joined Naira Bets, you can partake in some of the many great things to offer, like the $15 bonus. You bet 50 or more. Today's races here in Gulfstream. I wonder how many races they're running on the Tapeta. You love that Tapeta.
I don't know.
You're the king of Tapeta. You know, they listed the track as sealed the other day as a track
They
condition.
do that all the time.
Yeah, it's not really
I'm the king of pizza, not to pita.
to pizza.
To pizza.
Affogato, shocked that you.
No, I'm not an espresso guy. No espresso, no cappuccino. Red wine, prosciutto, olives, calamad, none of it. They try to take my card away all the time.
We almost made it. Chris Griffin. He was here Sunday, he's here today, he's here tomorrow. Johnny I will be back Saturday, but Chris is here, and he will be up next with a reprise of the Scratches and Changes. Have a great day.
Good afternoon and welcome to live racing at Aqueduct. The main track is sloppy. Here are today's scratches and changes. Race 1, beginning of the early pick 5. Number 2, ET's Premonition is +1. Race 2, beginning of the early pick 4. Scratch number 1A, Blake B. Race 3, start of the pick 6. Scratch the 7, Sudden Impulse. Number 6, Hey It's Toddy, 1 pound overweight. Race 4, beginning of the late pick 5. Scratch number 5, I Am the Cash Man. Race 5, beginning of the late pick 4, is clear, no changes. Race 6, scratch the 3, What's My Category? Scratch the 7, Fingal. Race 7, scratch the 4, Kept Waiting. Race 8, scratch the 4, Dancing with Rico. 29 minutes away from the opener, race 1. The main track is rated as sloppy. Good luck.
I think when people watch it on TV, they think that it's just a rich man's sport and there's nothing else involved. But when people actually come into this side of the sport and they see, and it puts a lot of dollars back into the industry in New York, and we need to protect that.
Working here, it's given me a life and a sense of security for not only myself financially, but also to provide for my family. Ideally, I would love to have my career here.
I'm a single mom. I was able to raise my son and put him through college, and something I'm very proud of, and I couldn't do it without New York Racing.
In the backstretch, there is a community that surrounds the racetrack. People that work day in, day out, loving what they are doing.
I mean, there's electricians, there's plumbers, there's carpenters. There's all these men and women who do jobs every day.
One horse requires a hot walker, a groomer, a person who's going to walk them to the races, the people who take care of them every day. And we need all these people to take care of the horses and to continue moving forward in New York racing.
This job has given me not only hope for tomorrow, but has made so many of my wishes come true.
We're really real people back here working our butts off to make this happen. It's a commitment. There's a lot of people back here that depend on this place.
I had the opportunity to go back to school thanks to the jobs provided for us here.
Our industry is vital within this state.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
Jobs.
Opportunity.
Community.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
We are New York Racing.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.